Jade, Gianni, Urmi, Sofia, Camila, Suzy, Edgar, Virlane, Becky, Moline. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you joining. About 900, almost 1,000 people joining so far.
That's awesome, guys. We're so delighted to have all of you here. So if you're here, then the reason you're here is because you're here to learn about Mindvalley's Body Mastery Program. It's a 4-month program that is designed to essentially give you the manual to understanding your body. Our health is the most valuable thing we have. Even billionaires, as soon as they lose their health, nothing else becomes important. Not money, not their wild dreams. It is regaining health. Yet so many of us make decisions as we get older that actually cost us health. And so what we're going to talk about today is the Body Mastery Program, which is a 4-month program put together by Ronan and a range of other world-class people, teachers, experts in health and wellness that is designed to teach you over 4 months, approximately 2 to 3 hours a week, how to truly master your body. It is one of the most detailed programs out there for mastering the human body so that you live longer. You are able to have that body of your dreams. In short, the right metabolic rate, the right body fat ratio, the aesthetics that you want, and the mobility, the flexibility, the fitness, the musculature that you've always dreamed of. So this program goes really deep. It's more than an exercise program. It's more than a nutrition program. As you're about to see, there's so much that is covered that is beyond the traditional lens where we just look at exercise or we just look at nutrition. Okay, so we now have 1,200 people here. It is 6:03 p.m. We will spend as much time as you guys need, but no more than 90 minutes to take you through this program so you can decide if this is a program you want to enroll in. So firstly, many of you are Mindvalley members, and I'm sure you know that Mindvalley provides incredible programs on our membership. But Mindvalley membership and our Quest programs there are self-guided. In other words, you are expected to go through the programs yourself. But there's a funny thing about human beings. Many human beings, we will make the effort to take our child to their martial arts class or to hold a friend accountable to maybe the calorie counting that they want to do. But when we have to do something for ourselves, we fail to do it. This is why so many people require guidance, or they require a coach, or they require someone to hold them accountable. And this is not a bad thing. This is because we are nice people. And so we will keep our commitments to others, but we fail to keep our commitments to ourselves. Even I have this problem. I will tell myself, I want to finish this quest over 30 days, and I will forget. But I will never forget my commitments to my child or my commitments to friends of mine whom I am coaching or helping. So Mindvalley launched last year a division of the company called Mastery. And Mastery is not about go at your own pace and study online, but it is groups coming together with a world-class teacher, always live, to master a really powerful body of knowledge that can improve your human experience. And Mastery is designed to hold you accountable. So our Mastery programs, we have an AI Mastery program that was the biggest program we've ever launched in our history. We have a social media mastery program. We have a manifesting mastery program that started off in March. And recently we launched a body mastery program. And the body mastery program is 4 months. It's several hundred people in a group. And some of the world's best teachers come together to teach you step by step every week how to really understand and master your body. Ronan, is there anything you'd like to add?
The mastery of the body comes as an integration of what happens in the body aspect of things, but also in the mind aspect of things. Because at the end of the day, Vision, the body is a reflection of what has been happening in the mind. The body, we know that what rules the body is our habits. First, to change the body, we need to change the habits. But what creates the habits are behaviors that are response to certain thoughts. So at the end of the day, mastering the body is not only about knowing what to eat, knowing what to exercise. How many people know what they should do, but they don't do what they think
Right.
they should. Is because the answer is not only on the knowledge of what to eat, how to exercise, and the routines, is also going all the way into the inner experience, into reframing my thoughts, that will reframe my behaviors, that will reframe my habits, that will then translate into a different body. So a body, health and body mastery is a inner and outer journey. We're going to be working on all habits of the optimizing health. And it goes, I saw Ana Peña question, is this for a healthy person? Or is this for somebody who is already in a, let's say, in a bad state of health? This is from anybody in any starting point. Whether you are in a state that you're already good and you want to go from good to great, or you are in a state that I need to restart. I have let my health alone for too long, and I haven't done anything about it. It's time for me to restart this journey. This is also for you because we're going to take all the basic steps and then the advanced ones. Not only working on habits of the body, but also in thought patterns that create, manifest a different physical body.
And so you could be healthy, you could be super fit, you could be ill, you could be bedridden right now. This program is designed to help you get your health back or take your health to the next level. And if you are ill, not only will you likely learn how to get your health back, but you will likely also learn what you need to do to become super fit, to get the body of your dreams. Because look at the panel of teachers that we brought together, right? There is Ronan Diego, who has been the health expert at Mindvalley for many, many years. Ronan has produced some of the hottest programs in Mindvalley. Last year in Q1, he was the most watched teacher in Mindvalley. His program on intermittent fasting, his program on muscle building, his program on home workouts are all hits on Mindvalley. You have Dave Asprey, who's the father of biohacking. You have Marissa Peer, the famous hypnotherapist. I will be teaching the mind-body connection, how to heal your body with your mind. And Ronan, maybe you can say a few words about Dr. Mario Martinez, Mindy Peltz, Momo,
Yes,
and Leon.
Dr. Mario Martinez is the author of the Mind Body Code and has been studying the connection between how thoughts generate disease or health and how we reframe our thoughts to create health in our bodies. Dr. Gabrielle Lyon is the topmost authority in muscle-centric health. And her main line of work is that the problem is that is not that most people have too much fat in their bodies, is that we have too little muscle. And by increasing muscle mass, you increase the amount of the vitality and create a domino effect in your health.
Right. And
Dr. Momo,
this is particularly true for women as well. 87% of American women exercise wrong.
absolutely. And then there's a muscle mass loss that create all the weight gain and the adverse health effects that we don't want. Dr. Momo Vujicic, he is the co-founder and the science head of Viome, and he is perhaps the leading authority in the world in the health and of gut microbiome, understanding the root of our health. Right now, we are increasing our awareness to understand that what happens in the gut determines everything else that happens in physical health and mental health. And he's the top leading scientist in the world in this area. And Dr. Mindy Peltz is the author of the Fasting Like a Girl, amongst other books, that has been leading communities around the world on basic, intermediate, and advanced fasting protocols for healing different diseases and creating a radiant health.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Ronan. So let's go on to the presentation so you guys understand what we'll be covering here. Now, I want to first share why this program is important to me. And to do that, I need to share a photo. So the photo you're seeing was taken in July 2015. Okay, that's me with two of my friends. One is 50 and one is approximately 58. And I was 40 something. I just turned 40, sometime somewhere around that, 39 or 40. And we had gone to a retreat run by Dave Asprey. Dave Asprey is one of our teachers here. So this retreat was designed to teach us how to use our mind to basically influence every aspect of our body, from our brain frequency to even our health. Now, I want you to look at my physique and my face in that picture. So this is 9 years ago, okay? Now, let me zoom in. I want to zoom in because I want to show you my personal health transformation. So this was taken shortly before I turned, just
It
as
was
I was
9 years
turning,
ago.
I was 39. I'm 48 now. I was 39. And I was about to turn 40, and I was so not happy with my body. Now, look at the face change, and you can see that now the pictures here are taken 7 years apart. You can see the transformation I've gone through. Not only did my hair regrow, like my hairline regrow, but I lost, my face became more sculpted. You can see I look a lot healthier. I look a lot more radiant. But let's actually look under the hood. What did my body went from chubby? You can see a bit of a belly there to really ripped. That is my body approximately 8 years later. And you can see really, really, really ripped. And the next thing that happened, though, is this. This is glycan age. Glycan age is one of the best tests you can do to show you your actual biological age. Okay, so I want to show you actual scientific data. I'm 48 and a half. I am 1.5 years away from turning 50. But my glycan age score, and I took this test 2 years ago, says that that my biological age is 26 years younger. So I took this when I was 46. My biological age was stated at 20. So I got all of these results in a relatively short amount of time with the help of my co-host here, Ronan. And this changed my life. I all of a sudden, see, I used to, back in 2015, when 5 p.m. would hit, I would feel my energy crash. I would need to take a nap. So I actually had a couch in my office so I could nap. And I would keep tiny, like little Mars bars in my drawer because I'd need to eat a Mars bar just for a sugar rush. And I didn't even realize how bad that was. Before going to bed at night, I needed to take 2 glasses of red wine so I would sleep well. I was teaching meditation, but I knew nothing about the body. There were two separate fields for me. And it was only in 2015, 2016, when I turned 40 and my body started giving way, that I started realizing that, wow, I need to start exploring this more. And I need to start moving Mindvalley into the field of the body. And the results it had on me were astonishing. And Ronan was that man who helped it happen. He was ahead of health and wellness. So the new programs that came into Mindvalley, the new authors, the curriculum design were all done by Ronan. Now, what we developed didn't just work for me. I want to share with you one case study. Now, this is done with just one element of what you're going to learn in body mastery. The woman you're seeing here, she asked us not to give her real name, but she works with the US military. So she asked us to use the name Mary. Now, this is a 6-month transformation of Mary. Now, keep in mind, Mary is a soldier. Even at the US military, as active as that lifestyle is, she had a body fat percentage of 43% and she weighed 165 pounds. This was January 2020. Doing the protocols that she learned from Ronan and our other health and fitness experts in Mindvalley, 6 months later, look at that. She gained 5 pounds of muscle. She lost 40 pounds of fat. She dropped down to 124 pounds and her body fat is 23%. And we've actually had Mary come on live. I think there's a recording interview with her somewhere on our Instagram and state how shocking it was for her that even being in the US military, she did not get the body that she wanted. But when she started working with Mindvalley, in 6 months, look at that transformation. Now, when people see this, they're like, wow, she must have been working with you guys for like an hour to 2 hours a day for 6 months. But the answer is not that. She worked 40 minutes a week, 2 sessions in the gym, 20 minutes each. And this is something else that's going to shock you. You will learn from Dave Asper, you learn from Roden. If you want to go to the gym for 3 hours a week, that's fantastic. But you only need 2 sessions in the gym a week, or in Dave only does 1 session a week of approximately 20 to 30 minutes. But you only need about 2 sessions in the gym a week. And Mary was spending 20 minutes per session. And look at the results. Now, do you think you can do that? Now, the explanation here, if you wanted a scientific explanation, she was doing high intensity interval training and learning how to optimize muscle growth, the right foods and everything to optimize muscle growth. When you optimize muscle growth, your metabolic rate goes up, you start shedding fat, and that's when you truly transform. Mary said for the first time in her life, she just loved her ass, and it was a game changer for her. Now, why is this so? Why are we so clueless when it comes to health? Now, Ronan, I want you to explain this in the following 2 diagrams.
Yeah, this is a study done by University of Leeds, and what they were investigating is what makes the body healthy, and especially one of the key pillars of health is having a weight and metabolism in its healthy state. And so this was a study of obesity. The main point that the scientists were intrigued was that obesity has been increasing steadily all over the world. But also awareness about diet has been increasing. Awareness about exercise has been increasing, but still it doesn't seem to be the answer. And so they started mapping out everything that determines the healthy weight of your body. And for each one of the variables that determines your body weight, they created a little box. You see in this image, a lot of different color boxes. I don't want you to read what is in each one of them. I just want you to see that there are many. And when they mapped out, this is what generates. If you put all these variables together, this is everything that generates your current body weight and how to change it. Now, Vision, can you please pass on to the next slide?
Yes.
You're going to see a bright orange box and a bright purple box in the middle of this image. The bright purple box represents all your diet, all your effort. If you're doing a paleo diet, if you're doing a vegan diet, if you're cutting carbs, if you're eating sugar or not, all this effort is represented in that purple box. All your exercise, if you're running, if you are doing CrossFit, or if you are practicing sports, all your workout routines, they are represented by the orange bright box. Now, I just want you to pay attention to how many other boxes are there left out. What this tells us is there are many more things that generate or shape the health of your body beyond exercise and beyond nutrition. If we cluster all these boxes and create labels to see what they determine, this is the categorization that we get. You can pass to the next slide, Vishen, please. You see different groups there. So one of them is all about your physical activity. Physical activity is different than physical exercise. If one thing is you spending 1 hour every day working out hard in the gym, but is spending the rest of the day in a sedentary state. The other situation that is much healthier, somebody asked, how do you generate energy for the body, is with physical activity. That is, how many times during the day you create small movement breaks, micro movements of standing, of elevating your heart rate. That has a strong impact on the health of your body. Your physical environment, not only physical environment, but also informational environment. What are the types of profiles you follow on Instagram? What are the ideas that your mind are immersed into? They generate your thoughts, that generate your behaviors, that create habits that then manifest physically into the body. And so even the people that you follow, or what you watch on Netflix at night, also has an impact on your physical body. The individual physiology, and here talks about your own specific body. What happens inside of your gut microbiome? Have you seen that situation? That two different people eat the very same healthy food. Two different people eat the same handful of nuts. One feels great and the other feels bloated. The two different people eat the same salad with broccoli and cauliflower. One feels great and the other gets gassy. The other day they have, their face is retaining fluid. That means that the same food has different impact for different people depending on your specific gut microbiome. So we need to know all of those things. And so creating longevity means mastering different areas that go beyond the nutrition and exercise. But the key here feels like, there's a lot of things for me to do, right? That is all the work on my beliefs. There's all the work on the people who I hang out with. There's all the work on my gut microbiome. The key here is to do this step by step, is to know where to start, what is the easiest, most highest return out of investment step, and start from there. Master one single habit. Once that is mastered, you take following steps. So the key here is the process and not the work that you need to do.
Right. So thank you, Ronan. So as we go through this presentation, of course, is on Mindvalley's Body Mastery Program, right? But note that as we go through this presentation, me and Ronan are also going to be teaching. For example, what you're seeing right now, this is already making many of you understand how complex our human body is and how our media and advertising gets us to focus on just two things: diet, 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 because the dieting industry is a billion-dollar industry in America. And of course, now there's Ozempic. And then the exercise industry is a massive multi-billion-dollar industry. But they forget to get us to think about these other aspects. So let me just share with you, okay, one of these other aspects, which I found really interesting. I'm reading a book right now called the Expectancy Effect, and it's about how what we expect about our bodies becomes real for us. And this book is freaking changing my life, I tell you. So the book speaks about how Americans put on weight faster than French people. If you actually look at BMI, French people have some of the healthiest BMI compared to Americans and Germans. And it has to do with how our parents train us to think about food. So in American families, dessert is seen as an indulgence. Eating a croissant for breakfast, again, can sometimes be seen as, it's unhealthy. It's a lot of bread, a lot of butter. But in France, they have no such guilt around dessert. And in certain other European countries, it's the same thing. And when they actually studied Americans and French people who grew up in a French culture versus an American culture, and they made these people eat dessert, they found that the dessert caused a higher spike in glucose in the Americans than it did in the French people, because French people didn't see it as something that was bad or dangerous or wrong. Now, we also see this in a wider way. Americans, for example, are 20 times more likely to be allergic to peanuts, whereas peanut allergies in many other parts of the developing world don't exist. I grew up in Malaysia. I've never heard of peanut allergies. It doesn't exist in Malaysia, but it exists frequently more in America. And so the book says that so much of what we get out of our bodies is what we expect to get. The book goes on to talk about medicine, right? Where so many of us can take a fake pill by a doctor and we display a placebo effect, meaning a healing effect, because we believe the pill is real, but we also display nocebo effects, which is where we believe the pill is real and many pills have side effects. We develop those side effects, whether it's puking or it's diarrhea, but the pill is nothing more than a sugar pill. So what you expect to happen to your body is what often happens to your body. And this can be greater than the impact of food and exercise. So this is where social psychology comes in, because we are learning this from our families. And this is where individual psychology comes in, because you can change this in your head. This is why mind-body healing can be so effective. Okay, let's continue. Now, Ronan, do you want to cover this slide?
Yeah, if you were to implement, you'd say, all right, I understand that the health of my body goes beyond what I eat and how do I exercise. What is the full list of things that I should work on? This slide shows you the full list. So there's a whole section on psychology. What Vishen was explaining now is identifying what the beliefs that I have that are generating a specific outcome of my body. Okay, my body image, my relationship with my body, my subconscious beliefs, I need to work on those things. But also on my individual physiology. I also want to understand my gut microbiome. What are the foods that are specifically good for me and maybe not for my partner or not for my kids? I also want to improve my physical and mental well-being. So how do I increase my energy level? How do I improve my sleep, inner stillness, and all the connection to my self-esteem? These things are all determining the health of my physical body. Now, the level, my environment. If I look around my home, what are the foods that are readily available that my environment makes easier for me to consume? Out of all the most disciplined people that I've always ever worked with, how they create discipline is by manipulating their environment. They design the environment in such a way that the choices that they want to make are easier, and the choices that they don't want to make are harder. And so that also affects the health of your body. If the environment is making exercise or sleeping earlier or eating healthier easier or harder for you, it changes the physical result that you get out of your body. Habits and routines, how you plan your week and how you plan your day. Mind over body. How do you use the power of visualization, for example, to create healing inside of your body? Food consumption, physical activity. So that it feels like a big list of things to work on. And this is when we need a process that takes you step by step, that teaches you where to start. If you were to study all of this on your own, it's a whole lifelong project, huh? A lot of trial and error. So the main approach here is we need to understand how the brain creates changes, and the brain creates changes one step at a time. Every time they try to create changes all of a sudden and take two big leaps in any aspect of life. Okay, tomorrow I will start fasting. I'll also cut sugar. I'll also cut coffee, and I'll go to the gym 5 times a week. How long do you think that is going to last? Huh? How much do you believe that your body is going to change in 6 months if the change that you do is not even sustainable for 2 weeks? So the main key here is, yes, there's a lot of things to work on, but I need to know what is the single habit that I need to apply first. And I need to know when I am ready to test a second one. The whole transformation of the body comes through a transformation of behavior. And transformation of behavior is habit science, which says start small and easy, focus on one step at a time, and when that step becomes a habit, then you move to the second one. So if you want, you can take a screenshot of this slide. Say, hey, this is the blueprint for all the things I need to master to have a unbeatable, radiant health, to have a body that is strong, that is mobile, that is beautiful, a mind that is serene, a heart that is open. Now you need to know, where do you start from?
Yeah, so I actually want to give an example, because I promise I want to actually teach you guys like really powerful tips as well as we go through this. So I want to give an example, and I actually learned this from you, Ronan. So Ronan has a program in Mindvalley called Beyond Fasting, right? And
Yeah.
I always thought fasting was going to be so hard because I was like, I just love to snack. But the first day Ronan taught me fasting, he made me fast for 22 hours straight. I didn't eat anything for 22 hours. And the hack was really simple, right? Ronan showed me that if I start my day with water, with Himalayan salt and a bit of lime, instantly, and coffee, just black coffee, instantly it takes away that hunger pangs. And so now I do a 14 to 16 hour fast 5 days a week. And when I started doing that, it became so easy for me to maintain my ideal waistline. So I fast for about 14 hours a day. Intermittent fasting, of course, is a big part of what Ronan teaches. But the other thing is, I also learned from Ronan the importance of protein. And you're going to see a lot of this coming out right now. Doesn't matter whether you eat meat or you're vegan, protein can really, really help give you the energy and the body of your dreams. And the magic number seems to be about 150 grams. So I take 150 grams of protein every day. And the question is how? So Ronan mentioned the concept of like whole meals and stuff. I start my day with, after my fast, around 1 p.m., I have my breakfast, and it's 4 eggs, maybe with some veggies, with some avocado or salsa on the side. And then 2 hours later, I have half a box, a cup of Chobani Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is filled with protein. Now, the 4 eggs are already, let's say, at 12 grams of protein an egg. That's about 48 grams. So that's rounded up to 50. And then the Greek yogurt is another close to 50 grams. I believe a full tub of Chobani is around 90 grams. So that's around another 45. And I add blueberries in it because blueberries have been proven to actually offset brain diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, right? So for someone approaching 50, blueberries really, really important. And then about around 6 p.m., I have a protein shake. And a protein shake is approximately 50 grams of protein. So before I even get to dinner, I've had my 150 grams of protein. And then when I'm having dinner, sometimes I have many friends who are vegan, and so we eat low protein foods, or sometimes I just want to have pizza with my kids, and that's okay too. I already have my protein intake. And because of this, my body was able to put on muscle so much easier. My metabolic rate was so much healthier. And just learning that from Ronan completely changed the way I showed up in the world. So I wanted to share that just an example for those of you who want to understand what do we mean by the little habits that make a big impact. A lot of it is so much easier than you think once you are shown the way. Okay, so let's go on to health and body mastery. Let's talk about some of the benefits of the program, right? So the first one is you create a lasting body transformation in just 16 weeks. As you go through the 4 months, your body starts changing. But because you understand what is going on, we really go deep. You understand the science, you understand the principles, you understand how these things tie together. What happens is you end up with a lasting transformation. Next, you master the mind-body connection. So we actually license the Silva method, and I teach this portion of it. You learn how to use your mind to actually accelerate healing, to help recover from injury, to help clear your skin, to even help improve your energy level. There's such a massive mind-body connection here. Then you learn to reprogram your subconscious for effortless, healthy habits. This is really about changing behavior, learned behavior, bad behavior that you may have picked up from the people around you, from parenting, from your culture, from false beliefs that you have that are not necessarily true, but you're convinced they are true. And so you live out that belief. And we teach you how to reprogram these things that could really be holding you back. This itself makes it really unique because if you hire a gym coach, you go on a diet, they don't go into your beliefs. But as that book I mentioned, and by the way, the book is called The Expectation Effect. As the expectation effect tells you, your beliefs are really what changes your body. Okay, then we go into healing the body and reversing aging. How is it that I can get a glycan age score 26 years younger than my chronological age? Well, it's because of many of these principles, and it's combining the right exercise with the right food, with the right practices, with the right beliefs, with the right identity shifts, with concepts such as the mind-body aspect. We also go into gut microbiome and precision nutrition. So get this, you are only 96% of your body mass is human. Another 4% of your body mass is actually bacteria. And you will see this in your throat, your stomach, your intestines, on your skin. And this bacteria works in symbiosis with you. This bacteria helps decide when you are hungry. It also helps influence your mood. Serotonin, for example, the mood chemical that makes you happy, 90% of serotonin is produced in your gut by this type of bacteria. So this bacteria can also, if it's not right, lead to depression or make you happy. It is crazy how important this bacteria is. In fact, even though the bacteria makes up only 4% of your body mass by weight, you actually have more bacteria cells in you than human cells because the bacterial cells are tinier. And you learn through Dr. Momo, who runs Bio, how to understand this concept and eat the right foods so that you're giving yourself precision nutrition. Now, the next thing is we look at optimized weight and metabolic boosting, how to get to your ideal weight and how to boost your metabolic rate. Now, of course, we want you to be happy and proud of your body no matter what your body shape is. And that's important. But the facts remain. If you have excess fat, it takes a greater toll on your heart. And scientifically, your lifespan will be shorter. But it's not just your lifespan. Dr. Daniel Amen, who's another guest I've had many times on Mindvalley, did a study that he shared with me in, I believe, 2021. And it showed that for every bit of extra fat you have around your belly, if you're a guy, or your thighs, if you're a woman, it reduces your brain cognition. Dr. Daniel Amen is one of the top brain scientists in America. In short, your fat is reducing your ability to think clearly. And when you start dropping this fat, your processing speed of your brain goes up. You get more focus. You get more done in less time. I noticed this when I lost a ton of fat. When I showed you my transformation, I went from 22% body fat to 14% body fat in 3 months. And following that, as I went through this 3 months, I certainly noticed I was having so many more ideas. My brain was so much better. And I also noticed this in the financial results of my company. My company started producing more and more profit. And I wondered, could it be because, well, I was no longer taking those wasteful afternoon naps, I was no longer sluggish, I also had greater focus and thinking capacity. So yeah, be proud of your body, no matter what your body shape is, but you cannot argue with the science. And the science is saying that too much fat is bad for your health and bad for your cognition. Now we go on to number 7, the new science of fasting for rapid healing. So we spoke about this. You will learn the concept of autophagy, how intermittent fasting can actually help your body get rid of bad cells and thus help your body heal faster. Then rapid strength and muscle building. So here you're going to learn the most effective exercise protocols that allow you to build musculature. And it turns out musculature is the highest correlation with longevity. So if you want everything you learn, if there's one thing that's going to increase your odds of living longer, it is your musculature. And the greater your musculature, man or woman, the longer you are going to live. And so muscle building is a very important thing, but most people don't do this right. They focus too much on exercises that actually break muscle rather than build muscle. For example, long distance running actually causes your body to break down muscle. But if you do Spartan race, which is long distance running with also lots of like climbing and pushing and pulling, you actually, a Spartan race has the highest correlation with athletic ability. But marathons are actually, I believe, bad for you. And that's not just my belief. Science is starting to show that as well. Read the book Body by Science. So we will teach you the right exercises that you want to do to actually live longer. And then awaken peak productivity and personal power. This has to do with supplementation, has to do with cognition, and so on. Okay, now let's go into how the program works. So, and we're going to give you step by step a couple of the highlights of every week of the program, and we'll teach a lesson with each. Okay, so maybe you're fully interested in the program and you're ready to sign up. Great. Maybe you're just here to learn. And that's great too. We want to teach as much. And I hope already as we are presenting this, you're learning things that you think are going to be useful, or at least where you know, okay, I need to dig more into that. I need to look more into that. And if that's the case, great. So the program is 4 months. And as I said, you learn from incredible teachers. Myself, Marissa Pierre, Mario Martinez, Ronan Diego. Ronan is the main teacher. Mindy Peltz, Gabrielle Lyon, Momo Busovic, and Dave Asprey. It's approximately 36 hours. And it's 2 hours a week for 18 weeks. So it's 4 months. Okay. So 2 hours a week. Now, this doesn't include the time that you might spend exercising or preparing a healthy meal. But keep in mind, most people who do this program actually end up exercising the same after it. It's just that their exercise is so much better. In fact, many of you will end up exercising less. As I said, Dave Asprey, and Dave Asprey, by the way, he is completely ripped. He was on the cover of Men's Health. He's, I think, 55 with his abs all completely pumped. He swears, and he's a close friend of mine, and I know this, he only goes to the gym for 30 minutes a week. And you will understand why. How to do minimum effective dose exercise for the ultimate benefit. Now, community is also important. In the Blue Zone studies, okay, when they looked at areas in the world like Okinawa, like Sardinia, where there was a 10x number of people living to 100 than the average American communities, they noticed a couple of things about how these people lived. One was the Mediterranean diet or the Japanese diet. Another one was moderate alcohol. But I remember being with a group of scientists once, and we started debating this. Moderate alcohol, that seems so weird. Alcohol is meant to be poisonous. So we texted Dan, the guy who wrote the book, and we asked him, this thing about moderate alcohol, what do you think was the correlation? And he said, no, it's not the alcohol. It's that people were hanging out with friends in community. The alcohol just happened to be there, right? Because in places like Japan, you drink sake when you hang out with friends. In places like Sardinia, you drink wine. And so it's not the alcohol, it's the community. And community, it turns out, is the number one factor that causes longevity. And so what we do in this program is we really build a community around our students. In fact, we are building a new community tool where all the students who go through this program will be able to interact with each other, talk to each other, even be part of like an alumni group. So if you're traveling and you happen to be in Berlin and you want to see if there's any other body mastery graduates nearby, you'll be able to find them. So we're working on that. Now, let's talk about the call schedule, because some of you may be wondering, is this going to fit into my already busy lives? So we kick off on June 17th, which is actually really, really, really soon. So it's in 2 days. And the end date is October 2024. Now, if you can start this week because you need some preparation time, don't worry, recordings are available. Now, the trainings happen Monday and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so around lunchtime for many of you guys. And this is 9 a.m. in LA, breakfast time. It is 5 p.m. in London, 8 p.m. Dubai, and sorry, that should say 12 a.m. Singapore. So I used to live in Singapore time, and I used to attend classes at 12 a.m. But again, if it's too late for you, recordings are available. Now, let's talk about the key highlights. And here I'm going to bring in Ronan. So Ronan, let's talk about week 1.
Yeah, the program is divided into 3 phases. And these 3 phases are the main domino effects that you can have for creating a healthy body. The first phase, that has about 5 weeks in it, is focused on healing your metabolism and bringing your body to a ideal body weight. And just like Vishen said, these things are beyond the point here. It's not really the shape of the body, although this can be a good side effect for most people. But what we really want is to decrease the inflammation of the body, because most of the inflammation of the body is in the visceral fat. Fat that is in the middle of the organs, connected to the organs in the abdomen, not only stores fat as fuel, but it's also where we store toxins. And so the more visceral fat we have, the more toxins we have leaking into the organs. That generates inflammation. And the inflammation is that thing that... Inflammation is a defense response for the body. So imagine that there are different toxins invading the body. Every time that invades an organ, that is like the toxin gets out of the fat and gets into the intestine or gets into the liver, for example, the body needs to call up the immune system, all the armies, and it creates that little civil war, fighting the intruders. That civil war is what we call inflammation. When there's too much inflammation in the body, that means there's too much of the civil war, too much of the chaos. And the body starts to spend more energy dealing with that chaos than healing itself. And this later on is what generates chronic diseases like diabetes type 2, hypertension, or even Alzheimer's disease. So creating inflammation, creating longevity means decreasing inflammation. Decreasing inflammation means bringing the body to its ideal weight. So this is why week 1 of the Health and Body Mastery program is focused on the first domino effect. That is, whatever is happening in the body, we first need to learn how to heal the metabolism and bring the body to its ideal weight. Then, starting from ideal weight, you see week 1 and week 2 is about what is the first easy steps to make that happen. And the first one, we start on the fasting protocols. The easiest thing that you can do to bring your metabolism to a healthy weight is not to change what you eat, but changing when you eat. Just bring your breakfast a little later, your dinner a little bit earlier. This is why we focus on week 1. Then on week 2 is when we start changing the what you eat. But the what you eat, the main mistake that people make is like, what should I cut? What can't I eat anymore? And it becomes the restriction mindset. And that is not how you do it. The way that you do is, what should I bring more? What are the healthy foods? Just like Vishen was saying, if I bring more protein from whatever source, animal source or vegetable source, I'm bringing more satiety to my body. I'm bringing a better blood sugar response. That means less inflammation. That means less emotional eating. So I'm starting to focus on bringing more hydration, bringing more fiber, bringing more protein in the right quantities. This is what we focused on week 2. It's the second easiest step to bring metabolism to a healthier weight. And then we go to week 3. Week 3 is when we start to make shifts in the composition of the meals by eating less the things that we no longer want anymore. You know that there are foods that you eat out of impulse, that you know that they are not helping you. And if you know what I'm talking about, what are the foods that are part of your habitual eating, but you don't want to eat them anymore? Put them in the chat. I want to get done with this, soft drink. I want to get done with that dessert, weekday. I want to get done with the late night chocolate. It just seems that I'm stuck with that. Fast food, too much sugar. That's what, cake, the Nancy is put here. On week 3 is when we start to learn how to let this go for good, because week 1 and week 2 gives you that preparation. And then on week 3, we are working not only on the food that we want to let go, but on the thought patterns. Why is it that I feel like I'm stuck in this thing? I can't go to bed without, opening the shelf and getting the cookie or getting the salty peanuts. That is thought patterns that we learn to get free from those types of food. Now, if you get freedom from those types of food, you start to realize the body has more energy. Not only the body has more energy, you also have more self-esteem, because finally you overcame something that you thought you were stuck with for the entire life. And now it brings you more openness to other steps to improve the metabolism of your body. This is when we go for week 4. Week 4, we are now working on emotions. The main villain. I've been working with people on improving their health, all different types of cultures and all different types of ages. And that what answer usually that question of why is it that I don't do the things I know I should? I know what is healthy to eat. I just cannot do them. It's not lack of knowledge. It's not that these things that healthy food is expensive. It's emotional patterns. I just get a impulsive pattern, and I look for the superficial pleasure. I go for the instant gratification because I am somehow avoiding using them to numb emotions. So for you to create a healthy body, you need to learn how to overcome impulsive behaviors. For you to learn how to overcome impulsive behaviors, you need to learn emotional maturity, because the impulsive behaviors, they come as a way for us to shove those emotions under the rug. There's an emotion that I don't want to feel, and I go numb that with food. For me to overcome that behavior and create a healthy body, I need to be able to be more mature and more understanding of more my emotions. What are they trying to tell me? How do I respond to them instead of react with them? Once you learn that, you realize that food is no longer an impulsive need, because you're responding to the emotions that come. And then week 4 is only about that. So then on week 5, you put all of these things into a new routine, into a new daily habit. You plan your new way of waking up, your new way of preparing your meals, your new habits. Now you solidify them with habits, because you learn different eating protocols on the first week. So now you transform your lifestyle. And as you transform your lifestyle with these new rooted habits, your body starts to create a healthy metabolism and lose weight. Then we go to the second pillar. They start on week 6. On week 6, we go to healing inflammation. We understand first what happens if I have a setback. I have my habits, I'm in the program, I'm doing everything good, and then I make a mistake. And once I make a mistake, I punish myself. That punishing myself creates all those inflammatory thoughts, all those stressful reactions, and I increase the inflammation of my body, and I respond with it with emotional eating. So now I need to understand, if I fail, and that will happen for anybody, if I make a mistake after learning all the right habits, how do I learn from them and release them so I don't create inflammation out of that stress response? That is the first step into healing inflammation of the body, is to decrease the stress out of the mistakes that I made. Then we go to week number 7. Week number 7, is when we start to use movement for healing. This is not the workout that will create muscle mass. It's how do I create a movement practice that is as easy as walking? Before we go all the way, and we're going to go all the way into building muscle. But before we go all the way into the building muscle, how do I create a low intensity movement routine that decreases inflammation in my body? So there's a study by the National Weight Control Registry. This is an institution in the US that has a 20-year ongoing study with about 10,000 people who successfully lost weight and kept that off and created a healthier body. On average, the people in their study have lost about 30 pounds and kept it off for at least 5.5 years. They study the differences between people who lost weight and people who didn't, and people who lost and kept it off versus people who lost and regained. They realized that the difference between people who lost weight and people who didn't is that the ones who lost worked first on the nutrition aspects and the mindset connected to nutrition. Food is the eating is the driver for creating a healthier metabolism. But then the people who kept this weight off after 5.5 years, the main difference between them and the others who also lost but regained in the next year is that the ones who kept it off added 1 hour of low intensity exercise in their daily routines. Or in other words, they started walking more. It's not that they take a moment of the day only to go for a walk, but what you're going to learn is how to embed walking. So it's a effortless habit that you do while you're being productive for other things. How you embed seamlessly walking that creates healing inflammation, that keeps the result that you already achieved. That's what we learn on week 7. Then we move on. On week 8 is when we get all the science of gut microbiome. You're going to have classes with the top scientists in the world, the human being who understands the gut microbiome the most, understanding how do you find the foods that are healthy for your own specific body. That is different than mine. If we both eat the same meal, maybe we have completely different results because the gut microbiome is like your fingerprint. And gut microbiome is what is digesting your food and turning them into vitamins. So, for example, if you eat something that has vitamin B9, well, vitamin B12, that food doesn't have vitamin B9. It has a compound that is given to the bacteria in your gut that transforms that into vitamin B9. And this is the bacteria making that conversion that provides nutrient to your body. So if you give the wrong foods to your bacteria, they are not converting that into the vitamins that your body needs. So you need to understand, hey, for my own body, after I work on the big blocks, I worked on my fasting, and now I have more protein and veggies, now I have less sugar. Now let's look at this food and do a fine tuning. How do I optimize my energy levels by understanding what foods are specifically healthy for my body? That's what you learn on week 8. Week 9, we advance the levels of fasting. Remember that fasting is how we start. It's the easiest step. Now we learn advanced fasting. First, we learn fasting in order to help the body heal its metabolism. Now, how can we use fasting to reset the dopamine levels in your brain? You know, there is a type of fasting that can even create remission from things like clinical depression because it resets the dopamine levels of the brain. This is when you go into advanced techniques of fasting. This is when Dr. Mindy Pelz, who is probably one of the most top experts in fasting practice for men and women in the world, is going to guide each one of you for advanced level fasting. After you learn this, you see, every week you are learning one protocol, one technique, one habit that is compounding on the previous one. Now we're going to week 10. You can move on to the next one, Vishen. Now we are still working on that healing inflammation. And healing inflammation depends on the level of sleep. One of the best things that you can create for your central nervous system and to let goal of all the inflammation is sleep. And this is when a lot of people who are already eating healthy and exercising but not getting results, they still have low energy, or maybe they still can't lose weight. Most of them are failing on sleep. And once they improve the quality of sleep, they realize that they get the results of all the things that they were already trying but didn't get the results yet. So here you're going to learn how to remove the disruptors of the sleep during the day. You know how you manage caffeine, for example, in order to have better, not only sleep length, but also quality of sleep. Sleep quantity is one thing, sleep quality is another thing. We're going to learn these two things. You're going to learn how to create a regular sleep schedule and how to create morning and evening routines that increase the amount of REM sleep and deep sleep. So all your efforts for weight loss, all your efforts for healing inflammation, they get maximized by quality sleep. Then we move on to week 11. On week 11, we go forward into healing inflammation, but then from the level of thoughts. But there are thoughts that you experience in your mind that can create inflammation. If you are experiencing thoughts of worry, if you are experiencing thoughts of worry, that generates a stress response in your body. If there's something that you're worried after work, that you go home and there's this tough relationship situation with somebody in your family and you haven't resolved that and those thoughts take over, those thoughts are increasing the levels of cortisol in the body. And even though you may be eating healthy, doing your exercise, sleeping good, that chronic level of cortisol generates inflammation. Then you realize you can't lose weight, right? Or you can't have good levels of energy. But I am so healthy. It's because we need to work on the thought level. This is when Dr. Mario Martinez will teach you what he called centenarian consciousness. He has spent now 20 years studying centenarians in blue zones around the world. And what he found out is the common denominator about all the centenarians are thought patterns, values, and thought behaviors that they have. That is common amongst all centenarians. And he's going to teach you how to practice each one of those thought patterns to create a centenarian body based on changing the way that you think. So now we covered all the body and mind aspects of healing inflammation. The last aspect of that is how do I increase my skills and my tools to manage stress? Now I'm so equipped with my habits. I just want to have more tools and more skills so I'm not carried over by the stress of life. Because when I'm taken over by the stress of life, inflammation also raises. So I need to have more tools to manage stress and to create inner stillness. That's what you learn on week number 12. Then after this, we go into the third pillar. Third pillar is optimization, is building function, building muscle mass, building strength, taking your body to the next level. You healed already. You lost weight, you healed inflammation, you put your mind into a healing place. After healing, you want to go beyond. I don't want my body only to be healthy. I want my body to be everything that it can. So we're going to fitness. So on week 13, we understand what creates fitness. What is the mind thought? What is the mind pattern that creates optimal levels of functioning for my body? Then we go to week 14. After this, we start learning the fitness exercises. So how do I do fitness at home, for example? And fitness will be catered to all different levels in the body mastery program because it is body mastery. So you need to know how I do fitness in a basic level and how I do fitness in an advanced level, how I do fitness in the gym and how I do fitness at home. So in week 14, you learn that from a home standpoint. If I am at home or if I'm traveling, how do I keep improving the strength and the body composition of my body? This is what you learn on week 14. Then we go to week 15. On week 15, I learn how I improve the capabilities and the health of my heart and lungs. This is called Zone 2 training. Zone 2 training is a type of training that improves heart condition. Why is that important? the number one cause of death for human beings is cardiovascular disease. Heart problems. That is what kills most human beings in the world right now. And so learning how to increase the capacity and health of the heart is perhaps our top most priority. And there are a couple of exercises, all the nutrition that we've done in the program so far, all the thought patterns are already improving the health of the heart, but I can train my heart too. And the bonus here is that zone 2 training that you learn on week 15 not only trains your heart, it also trains your mitochondria. Mitochondria is the thing inside of your cell that generates energy. So it multiplies that. So you have more powerhouses, which means your levels of energy raise. You know that sometimes you wake up already feeling tired. And then you go to work, after work, you're already exhausted. And you have hobbies, and you have dreams, and you want to learn how to play an instrument, you want to travel, but comes the weekend, all you have is, I'm just going to stay at home in the couch because I don't have that, even the motivation to do because my energy levels are too low. If you increase the level of mitochondria, if you increase the number of mitochondria, your energy goes up. And if your energy goes up, life has more possibilities. You can do the things that you want to do because you have energy available. Then on week 16, you improve how you accelerate your recovery, because now you're building fitness. And fitness, the capability of your body is trained with exercise, but it develops with recovery. If you only train and you have no optimal recovery, you don't see results. Your body heals when it's sleeping, gets stronger when you're resting from your exercise. So knowing how to optimize your rest is what actually increases your results. And then week 16 is just about that, how I accelerate recovery so I multiply the results that I get from the exercise that I'm doing. And then finally,
this is where biohacking comes in.
This is where biohacking comes in, and this is the week that you're going to have guidance from Dave Asprey on Monday and on Friday with all the advanced biohacking techniques to increase your recovery abilities. And then on week 17 is when we go a little bit deeper. That is, how do I turn all this relationship with my body, all this work on my body into a spiritual practice? Because at the end of the day, what you want is not only to have a body that is more beautiful and better for yourself. That is an empty journey. What you want is to work on your health as a way of personal development, as a way of an inner evolution. So how do you not lose track? And how do you not get distracted and use the body not as an end, but as a mean to a better life? Right? You don't want your body to be a full-time job and you dedicate your time to your body and then you don't have time for other things in life. You want a body that provides you with a better life. And so what are the practices and how you keep yourself in track that, with as you transform your body, your life gets better. A lot of people get lost in the health and fitness because sometimes they get obsessed with it. And then as they transform their body, the more rigid life gets. And you don't want that. What you want is the more you transform your body, more possibilities happen in your life. So that's when you go in week 17. And on week 18, you learn how to transform those things into permanent transformation so that you finish a program like the Health and Body Mastery. And after the program, you know how to continue with the habits and the way of thinking that generated this now healthy body. So you don't have the situation that the program ends and you start going back to where you were in the beginning because you don't have the guidance. How do you keep those habits? How do you keep those mind patterns? And how do you continue your journey of self-evolution? This is when you talk about on week 18, because this needs to be a permanent transformation for you.
So, in the book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, there was a very interesting point that James Clear made. He said, you can shift yourself through goal, through process, or through identity. Okay. So if you understand the difference, this is a big deal. So let's say you want to commit to going to the gym because you want to lose, let's say 10 pounds. Okay. This is just a random example. So you wake up in the morning and it's 7 a.m. and you want to go hit the gym and it's a cold, wintry day. Now, if you set it as a goal, lose 10, if you set it as a goal, lose 10 pounds, there are going to be moments when you're going to want to wake up and you're going to go, oh gosh, it's so cold and I'm so tired. I didn't sleep well. I know sleep is important. I think I'm just going to cuddle back in bed and go back to sleep. I'll save the gym for another day. I bet all of us have experienced that, right? So that's goal. Now, he said slightly better than goal is process. Process is where you say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. I'm going to apply the exact protocol that Ronan has taught me, and I'm going to see what happens. Now, this is better. Process is better than goal. So, but the same thing is going to happen. There are going to be days when you wake up and you're not going to want to get out from under your blanket because you're cold, you didn't sleep, you decide, I need to give myself more love. So it's not going to be easy. The best way is identity. This is where you actually reframe your identity of who you are. So you might take on the identity of, I have the body of an athlete and my body just needs to exercise. That's just what my body does. Now, when you can reframe identity, I have a healthy, active body that longs for exercise. You will never find yourself wanting to lie in that bed when it comes between gym or bed. And this is what the transformation mindset means. Now, we spoke about the impact of expectation. When you develop identity shifts, okay, such as my metabolism is so wonderful that I can eat that croissant and there's going to be no impact on me. That becomes real for you. Your beliefs, which govern what you expect, will literally be the ultimate thing that decides and governs your lifespan and health span. And this is what many other fitness protocols do not talk about. They simply talk about movement or food. They talk about calories or number of miles you run. That's very kindergarten. The ultimate thing is the transformation mindset. And so that's what we try to get you to. And this is why, people like Naveen Jain is the founder of Volume, said Mindvalley is building the next Harvard or Stanford of our time. We really believe that the teachers that we put together, the curriculums that we put together create remarkable change. In fact, CNN, if you watch CNN, you'll see CNN often plays this. This is not an advertisement. We didn't use a PR company, but basically Zain Asher of CNN decided to invite me to speak on her show because Mindvalley transformed her life. And we're really proud of this. Now, you can go to stories.
Before you go on, Vishen, I just want to make a point about the identity point because I see the responses here in the chat and people saw that there's a key aspect here. The main mistake that people make in the identity aspect is when they go into a healing, or let's talk about weight loss because the beginning of the program. The main mistake, identity mistake that you may make is that you identify as somebody who has an unhealthy body and need to lose weight to be healthy. Imagine if I identify as somebody with an unhealthy body who needs to lose weight so I can get healthy. What is the reality that I'm creating with that thought? The reality that I'm creating with the thought is somebody who is in an unhealthy state trying to get healthy and not somebody that is in a healthy state already. So the more I identify as somebody who needs the healing, who needs to lose weight so I can get healthy, the more I create the situation that I'm still unhealthy. And so there are two shifts that in aspect of identity that is important here. One of them is that I don't identify myself as somebody who is unhealthy and needs to lose weight to get healthy. I identify myself if my body is in a state that is overweight or in a state of obesity as somebody who has an inherently healthy body, who eventually got lost and now it's reclaiming its way back. See how different it is. I'm not identifying as somebody unhealthy who needs to fix that situation. Somebody inherently healthy. Maybe I got lost and I'm making my way back. This is one reframe that I'm creating a healthy body as my default. But then you may say, Ron, but I wasn't born with a healthy body. I was not inherently healthy. And that can be the case. There's a second reframe for that. I started practicing a few years ago jiu-jitsu. And jiu-jitsu is very complicated, huh? And I struggle a lot in the beginning until I reframed identity and started getting this very fast. In the beginning, my thought, my identity frame was, I am learning jiu-jitsu. And it was as complicated as it gets. But then I made one reframe that one class after the other, I was learning so fast that they were putting me to practice with the advanced people. And the main refrain was, the identity said, I am a jiu-jitsu athlete in the beginning of his career. Because if I told myself I was a jiu-jitsu pro athlete, I knew I wasn't. But in the beginning of his career, that was a compatible identity. What does a pro athlete in the beginning of his career does? Different priorities than somebody that is just learning for the as a hobby. I started reading more about it. I started observing more. I started being more present in my practices, and I started improving a lot more. And so I can be, if I was not inherently healthy, if I don't have the belief, if I was not born with that state, I can be a healthy person in the beginning of their journey.
Just to
There is
pick up on
another
that,
identity reframe that takes in that space.
now, for those of you who study spiritual works like the Abraham Hicks books, The Law of Attraction, the Power of Emotions by Esther Hicks, I know a lot of you are fans of Esther Hicks. She talks about this from a spiritual viewpoint. She says all of us have a flow of source energy that is moving us towards wellness. And by the way, in some of her work, she defines source energy as God, but she says she doesn't like using the word God because it politicizes things, right? So let's just use the word source energy. And the source energy is always moving us to wellness. It's always, and when we can surrender into that, we move towards our healthier selves. But most of us fail to surrender into it. Surrendering to her, she says, is moving downstream. Like you're sitting on a raft and you're just moving downstream. You don't even have to paddle. She says most of us start moving upstream. We start pedaling furiously upstream because we have failed to surrender the source energy, and our worries, our dogma, our cultural programming are actually holding us sick. And so one of the things that we cover in this program is that mindset. When we go into the mind-body aspects, when we bring in the Silva method, you learn how to surrender into that source energy. So whether you go with Esther Hicks' work of surrendering to source, or you go with James Clear's definition of identity shift, that is the secret to health. That's why that book, The Expectation Effect, exists. What? Because those people, what you expect is what you have surrendered to. So I hope that connects the dots for some of you. Now, let's go on a bit. Mindvalley has 21,605 case studies, and you can actually read case studies of many people who have gone through this program. We'll come to that in a moment. These are just pictures of people who have been trained by Roman or some of the other instructors in this program. Some of these did this through quests that Ronan led or classes that they attended. Lucy lost 10 pounds. Andrea said within a few months, she helped lose 15 pounds. And they go on to talk about how her skin is healthier. She's sleeping like it's her job. She feels better than before, she broke her leg. And at 44, she's truly delighted. This lady was on 7 different medications. She got off 7 medications and reduced her biological age by 10 years. And this guy lost a leg in an accident. He literally lost a leg in an accident, and then he only had one leg. He lives in Japan, and he fell into a funk and a depression. He started putting on weight. And because he put on so much weight, his one leg couldn't support him. So he had an artificial leg as well, right? But he just couldn't bear his load, and he started getting fat. Then he got on the training from Ronan, where he learned hyper-optimized muscle building. In 6 months, he increased the muscular strength of his one leg by 264%. And all of a sudden, he could walk again. And once he could do that, he decided, I'm just going to go for the whole shebang. I'm going to get ripped. I'm going to get fit. And today, he's a Mindvalley coach. Okay, here are other examples that you can see. Just incredible transformations of men and women of all ages. This lady here is talking about Silva. So Silva is part of the program. I'll be teaching the classes on Silva. And what we teach you are mind-body practices to use healing, subconscious healing, to accelerate the energy, the healing of your body. This lady went from non-functioning kidneys to kidneys that were functioning at 100%, from going out of breath and having chronic UTIs to being perfectly healthy. This lady learned from Dave Asprey, right? And Dave Asprey teaches you some amazing stuff. She learned how to get hyper-optimized sleep. So in 5 hours, she gets the equivalent of 7 to 8 hours of sleep by optimizing for REM and deep sleep. This man, he improved his eyesight, his hearing, and his blood pressure. This lady increased hydration, her energy, and can fit into her size 8 jeans again. This one lost 10% of her body fat in 3 months. And so if you think this is right for you, it starts June 17. Now, let's talk about the cost and the price and all of that, okay? For those of you who are interested. And I want you to know that with this program, we're giving the biggest bonus we've ever given in Mindvalley history. And I'm going to talk about that in a moment. And we're really excited about this. So the total time for the program is 2 hours a week. I explained this for 4 months. And again, but this is 2 hours learning with our teachers. If you are currently not going to the gym, you will have to start setting up some time to exercise, but not in crazy amount of time. But the rest of it is just habits. They are like little micro habits that you do that make a shift. Now, the curriculum goes into these levels, part 1, part 2, part 3. Level 1 is 2.5 months. Okay, and this is what you go through. We kind of covered this. Level 2 is 1.5 months. And you can take just level 1, so you finish in 2.5 months, or you can take the full thing, which is with level 2 as well. At the end of it, you get a completion certificate. Okay, so if you're ready to live longer and look younger as you age, if you're ready to take into your hands the manual to your healthy body, I hope you will consider this program. Now, the pathways are as follows. Level 1 is 20 lessons. Okay, level 2 is 32 lessons. And level 1, the foundations, is 4,000. Level 2 is 5,000. So if you take the full program, it's 5,000. That's 4 months. If you want to take the 2.5 month version of the program, then it is basically just level 1, and it's 4,000. Now, what we like to do is we like to make it really easy for you. So you don't have to make a choice. All you got to do is get the cheaper one and you'll get the more advanced one for free. So if you buy level 1, you get level 2 for free, which means that you can get level 1 and 2, the full 4 months for just $399. Okay, $399. That's 4,000. Now, some of you are wondering, 4,000. Well, I have a Mindvalley membership. Couldn't I find all of this content in Mindvalley membership? Yes and no. Some of this, you can probably find various lessons within Mindvalley membership, but a lot of this content is new. More than half the teachers do not have a Quest on Mindvalley membership. But the most important thing over here is the guidance. That's the big part. It's guidance. It's having someone hold your hand in this group coaching protocol, having that community with you and being guided through it. So $399 we feel is a very fair price. The average American spends $3,500 a year. That's average on just medical bills. Now this data is pre-COVID. Now with inflation, it's probably around 4,500, but it's expensive. We're really spending money on our health. This is preventative. Rather than spend 4 to 5 grand a year catching yourself because you've gotten unhealthy, this program teaches you to not get sick in the first place. And as a result, increase the quality of your life and add years to your life. So you think 4,000 is expensive? Well, if this program adds 1 year to your life, is that worth it? Is 4,000 worth a year to your life? What if it adds 10 years to your life? Is that worth 4,000? And for many of us, it will. I showed you my data on glycanage. At the age of 46, I had the health of a 20-year-old. And because of that, I can do so much more than most men my age. That is worth millions of dollars for me. And that's why we feel this pricing is really, really fair. But there are a couple of bonuses which I want to share with you, which I think are going to make some of you go batshit crazy. The first one is a simple one. You're going to get the recordings of the call if you can't show up. But the second bonus is this. For just 4,000, for those of you who want to go further, we will, for free, train you to become a health coach. So Mindvalley launched Mindvalley certifications last year, and we train 12,000 coaches a year. And our NPS scores for this is through the roof. It is higher than the iPhone when it came out, in the 80s range. So we have various coaching programs. We train 12,000 coaches, and our coach trainers are just world class. We train people as life coaches, as business coaches, and one of the coaching that we do is holistic health coaching, whole body coaching. And whole body coaching is just crazy, crazy, crazy popular. Let me show you something, okay? So these are just the case studies that was submitted by students who did whole body coaching. You can see it on stories.mindvalley.com. And you will see all of the there are over 400 case studies that you can read on whole body coaching. And these are all people who took the program. They learn advanced health practices, and they then learn how to become a health coach and earn money as a health coach. What we're going to do is we're going to give you whole body coaching. Okay, now look at the price for whole body coaching. It's around $3,000 to $4,000. You're certified by EMCC. It's 4 months, so it's an additional 4 months. But we're going to give you whole body coaching completely free. So if you take Body Mastery, you will get a ticket that gives you another $4,000 program completely free. Now, if some of you bought Body Mastery earlier, this applies to you as well. We like to delight our customers. So very often you buy something in Mindvalley and we'll give you a little surprise secret. So it's several hundred of you signed up for Body Mastery. And I want you to know, and when you finish Body Mastery, we know a lot of you might say, hey, I love this. This has transformed me. I want to go further. I want to study another 4 months and I want to be a health coach. And people are earning money as these health coaches. You can go and browse these case studies. These are all real. And rather than pay another 4,000, we're just going to give you that for free. Now, why do we do this? Because it benefits us to have Mindvalley certified coaches in the world. Because when you help people transform, guess what? You're going to mention Mindvalley and you help get our name out. And so we think this is a win-win for everyone. And also we love our customers and we want to delight our customers. So if you're considering, do I do Body Mastery or Whole Body? Well, we'll give you both. Okay. Now, anyone who bought earlier, so hundreds of you bought Body Mastery earlier before we decided to make this decision, we're going to upgrade you for free. So we're adding a $4,000 coupon to your Mindvalley account that you can use to become a whole body coach if you want to. If you're not interested, it doesn't matter. But if you want to, we will train you to become a coach, and you can take this skill and you can bring it to your workplace. We have had people as whole body coaches here who now in their companies, they speak to their CEO, and in their companies, they provide an added service coaching the team for healthy practices. Some people have built businesses around this. Some people have quit their jobs and become a full-time health coach. You'll find all of these stories here. I don't need to read them to you. You can go to stories.mindvalley.com. Okay, if you want to read this, just go to stories.mindvalley.com. Under programs, type in HOLO, Whole Body, Mindvalley Certified Whole Body Coach, and there you'll see 400 case studies. And feel free to go through them, okay? So now you get a double transformation. Now let's go back to the slide. So firstly, all the recordings are available for you. Bonus two, as I said, is going to be a shocker. You get a $4,000 certification on top of this. Now, this does mean that you would have to go through 8 months of training. But I can tell you this, firstly, 4,000, already hundreds of people paid $4,000 just for the 4-month Body Mastery. And all we're saying is, if you later decide you want to make a career out of health coaching, and if you want to go into deeper study for another 4 months, that's just going to be on us, just as our gift to you, our customer. Okay, so this is why this, as you can see, this is a tremendous value. You transform your peak wellness into your new normal, and you get to guide others towards life-changing body breakthroughs. So I learned a lot from Ronan, and I got certified as a fitness coach. And I was able to train my son and my daughter. And today, my son and my daughter, their bodies, like my son is 16 years old and he's got like a six-pack and he's ripped. My daughter is like just so energetic. She was in school recently and their physical ed teacher makes them run laps around a field. And another boy turned to her and goes, "Oh, I hate this. This is so tough." And she goes, "You think this is tough? You should spend Sunday afternoons with my dad, because Sunday afternoons, I'm training them for fitness and I get fit and they get fit and it's just so much fun. And I know my children will never, ever, ever have to worry about obesity. And at the same time, my children are the top kids in their class. Why? Because when you transform your body, your brain is part of your body and your brain functioning goes up. They are just so freaking smart. Their grades are going up. My son is applying to Stanford next year. And a lot of it is because of how we've transformed their bodies. So this can be very beneficial. So here are a couple of statements, right? Okay. So Simona Vida, she's actually the most popular fitness coach here in Estonia. She is one of our graduates. She said, "This program gave me great tools to use on myself, my loved ones, and my clients." Simona, I believe, told me she is training one-on-one close to 20-something people a week. This lady, Andrea J. Burns, within a few months, whole body helped me lose 15 pounds. This guy, Jamie Foster, who's an engineer, look at his ripped body. Learning this material has elevated my ability to teach others how to transform their own body and mindset and set goals using habits that are sustainable. Okay, so everything you get is 36 live calls. Sorry, it says manifesting experts. We mean body experts. You get the Mindvalley Health and Body Certificate, Mindvalley Health and Body Community. The big bonus is if you decide you want to make this into a job, we will give you a $4,000 whole body certification free. And you get the live calls of all the recordings. Okay. Now I see some people say it's too expensive. I hear you. I don't know your financial condition. If you're a Mindvalley, but remember, health is never expensive. 4,000 is what it takes to deliver this program. And you can see there's so much value. We're bringing in world-class teachers like Dave Asprey, like he's the godfather of biohacking, to get them involved, to get them all to like combine their work together. That's expensive. But this 4,000 is about adding 10 years to your life and increasing your health span. And then going further and giving you the tools where you can be a coach, where you can transform others. Remember, if you're in America, you're already on average spending 4,000 a year just patching yourself from illness. I went to the doctor in the US for just a back pain because I overexerted myself in the gym. It was $250 just for painkillers and for the doctor to tell me what painkillers to take. So it's already expensive, but this is preventative. But again, if you can't do this, then you can always get a Mindvalley membership for like $45. And there's a lot you will learn there as well, right? But it's not going to be as good as this. But this is for the people who know it's right. Now we have 50 seats left because, like I said, it's already starting 2 days from now. So this offer is for anyone enrolling in the next 48 hours. In the next 48 hours, you will get both programs for the price of one, meaning you get body mastery and you will get a ticket where when the time comes, if you decide to do Hollow Body, and let's see when Hollow Body is launching. It is launching October 7th. October 7th, yeah. And it's taught by me and Ronan. When the time comes, you can do Hollow Body as well. Okay, so they quickly, one ends and then the other one starts. Then in 48 hours, the tuition price goes up to $5,000. So the $4,000 price is just for the next 48 hours. And if you need a payment plan, it's $829 a month. Okay, so that's where you can learn more. Just follow that QR code, go straight to the website. That's the website. And everything is on the website. Okay, or you can learn about the teachers. You can read the teachers' bios, like Mindy Peltz and so on. It's a very, very well done website. And there's also a website here for Hollow Body that you can find. That's /certs health. Don't buy it from Hollow Body. We'll give this to you for free. Okay, and that's it. We covered a lot, and we're 1 minute away from closing. I'll close the event here. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, guys, we appreciate you, and we hope to see you in the program.